The video of CEO Andy Byron and his HR manager Kristen Cabot getting sprung on a kiss cam at a Coldplay concert has spread right around the world. Now, I have to issue a correction after my reaction to the video on Friday after it went viral. There was a statement circulating that was being attributed to Andy Byron, which was not true. He has not issued a public statement, and I apologise for bringing that to you on Friday. Andy Byron has resigned after being placed on leave. An astronomer issued a statement saying it's committed to the values and culture that have guided us since our founding. Our leaders are expected to set the standard in both conduct and accountability, and recently that standard was not met. Now, Coldplay singer Chris Martin has broken his silence after the incident, and he's been carefully issuing a warning to members of his audience that the kiss cam was coming out.
We'd like to say hello to some of you in the crowd. How we're going to do that is we're going to use our cameras and put some of you on the big screen.
He's not the only one making light of it. There are memes flooding the internet, and the kiss cam has been replaced by the Coldplay cam at sporting events. Joining us now is News Corp columnist Angela Mollard. Angela, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Before we get into the royal and entertainment news, let's talk about the fallout from this, because that video has just gone so viral. I want to talk to you about, I suppose, their reaction and then the reaction we've seen around the world, and also what Chris Martin had to say. I thought the way he addressed it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I thought he addressed it really well, because he's saying that, you're not in a private place.
No.
Be careful. He goes on to say, put your makeup on. What I think is really interesting about this, and I haven't seen a story of this magnitude go viral like this in all my years in journalism, and I think I've been thinking about it a lot. I think there's an evolution from the whole private investigator paparazzi climate to the citizen journalist, where everyone now has a phone, they can take a picture of anyone, to a public event, a spectacle where you can be caught out. So your privacy has changed over the decades in terms of how it can be given away. Anyone now, you have to be completely cautious of your own privacy. I think, so on that front, I think there'll be a rethinking of people going to events, walking in the street. We know that people have affairs. It's a part of humanity and society. I'm interested in it from a media perspective, how much it's blown up and why has it? And of course, it wouldn't have happened if they hadn't sprung apart like that,
of course,
which we're now seeing as the Coldplay cam. But I think there will be a reckoning now. I think people going out who are in extramarital affairs or doing something they shouldn't will be a lot more cautious going forward. I thought Chris Martin handled it beautifully, though. Yes. He wasn't apologising for it, he was just giving a warning.
I know, a little warning for everyone in the audience and warning right around the world. And as you say, it's an interesting point that, everyone's a journalist at this point. You can upload any piece of material, it can go viral. There's an independent, let's talk about, the royal family now, and there's an independent HR investigation into working conditions at Highgrove Gardens. This is the King's private estate. This comes after the past several years. Dozen full-time gardeners have quit Highgrove since 2022, citing toxic workplace conditions. Can you bring us up to speed on the latest here?
This is really interesting because it appeared in the Times, which is a really reputable news organisation. They've evidently talked to lots of the gardeners at Highgrove. Of course, Highgrove being Prince Charles's private home where he has all of his gardens that he absolutely adores. Look, some of the stories are hilarious. Things like the king got very upset that they hadn't cultivated his delphiniums, so they weren't in bloom that year. That there was a plant across the path leading to the swimming pool, and he got angry about that. There was a member of staff who didn't know his facts on a particular flower, and King Charles reportedly said, I never want to see that man again. What's interesting, though, is that, you think about gardens and how harmonious and pretty they all are. But, this is almost a repeat of Meghan being, the investigation into her bullying. I'm not suggesting that the king is bullying, but clearly there's low morale. They are claiming that they're very low paid, these gardeners, and that they can't replace them. So, you'd have thought that everyone would want to work in the King's Gardens, one of the most beautiful gardens in the country, but there's a lot of unrest there.
Very interesting. Now, Prince George, he turns 12 tomorrow. I can't believe that. But the day might come with a potential change for the young royal. In the past, the British royal family followed the protocol that the direct heirs to the throne do not travel together, of course, in an effort to secure the future of the monarchy in the event of a potential tragic event. Do you think we're going to see this change?
I think it'd be really interesting to see whether it does or not. When Prince William was 12, he immediately could not fly with his father, the then Prince Charles. Kate and William are a lot more flexible. They're very family-minded. They spend a lot more time together. You have to think about what would be the potential feelings of George if he was travelling separately. In fact, a former royal pilot has talked about how the rest of the family, Diana, Charles and Harry, would go on one flight and William would be on a second flight. You have to think about how might that impact on George. So I think they would think about it very strategically. Instead of it being George on one flight, it might be Mum and George on one and, William and the other two kids on the other. But it isn't obviously something that other families don't have to think about, because the law of succession, if you wipe out one whole family, goodness, obviously that would be an absolute tragedy. But then where does it fall to? This is why you have fifth, sixth, you have Harry and Beatrice and a long line of succession. But look, he's only 12, and I just think try to keep these children as young as they can for as long as they can.
Yes. Now, Family Guy has taken aim at Harry and Meghan. In its most recent episode, they suggest that their marriage wasn't a great moment in history. Take a look at this.
Brian, this is a terrible idea. We could change the course of history.
You always say that, but doesn't history pretty much suck? I mean, the Crusades, Hitler.
Prince Harry marrying Meghan Markle?
Again? Oh, like all of your wives are so much better.
It's not the first time that Family Guy has mocked Harry and Meghan. I think that last scene at the end with Prince Harry was quite funny. What did you think of it?
Look, I think it's really interesting because, of course, South Park did that other one with the worldwide privacy to it. They are always ripe for pillorying, aren't they? And I think the interesting point here is that we don't see this happening to Kate and William. We don't see it happening to any other. We don't see it happening to the King and Queen. The reason is, and this is what Harry and Meghan should have thought about at the time, is that you are protected when you're in the royal family, not just because you're within it, but because people acknowledge that you have been born into this and that you are at the forefront of service. So there is a natural respect there. The fact that they're on these TV shows is a consequence of them choosing to step away. Now, they could have chosen to step away quietly and not spoken up, and I don't think they would have had this kind of treatment.
I agree.
The fact is that they chose to step away, to talk endlessly about the royal family, to really share that dirty laundry. And now it's coming back to bite them. And we know that Netflix is announced its top 300 programs, and Meghan's program was not in it. She is not popular. And if you don't have that popularity and you don't really have that connection to the royal family, what do you have? What do you stand for? What's your purpose? You don't want that to be happening to you.
No, very well said. Look, finally, I want to talk about the Beckhams. Football legend David Beckham appears to have suffered a grooming mishap when he was attempting a DIY buzz cut. It went spectacularly wrong. He has shared a bit of it with the world.
What have you done? What have you done?
The thing of the clippers fell off my head.
You were trying to give yourself a haircut, or what have you done?
It's not funny.
Let me see. I mean, the hours of content that the kids have got from this.
The clipper head fell off.
It does not look good. I'm going to always be honest with you. It looks terrible.
I think that's my favourite part, hearing Victoria say it does not look good. I will always be honest with you.
I know. I think these two do celebrity better than anyone. I could watch hours and hours of them. I love the Beckham documentary. I could do another 12 hours of the Beckham documentary. There is something about them that's really real. This is something that would happen at anyone else's house, right? And I love David Beckham's whole tone. He's so everyman, and yet we all admire him. And look, you know, their family have had lots of challenges with Brooklyn moving away, but there's something, they just get it. They get how to do social media, and they get how to be themselves. And I find that really, I just find it really beguiling. I would watch anything with David and Victoria Beckham. They are talent, and they will be talent forevermore. And I love it. More, bring it on. Make more mistakes with hair
Please.
clippers.
We'll play it right here. Angela Mollard, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.